some Raise Energy.
Yeah, great stuff. It's got amino acids. It's got electrolytes. It's got all that kind of good stuff. And not to mention, this is great. Like if you wanted to use this as like a pre-workout, you can do so. If you want to use it just to get through the day, if you got like a meeting and you're just a little drowsy, hit up some Raise. I mean, this is great stuff. Repsports.com. Hit over there. Look at the huge inventory of flavors and different types of products that they also sell. They sell protein powders and all kinds of stuff like that. But, yeah, you get 15% off your order if you enter Raise 'em Up as your promo code. Make sure you enter Raise 'em Up. Hit the promo box code, enter Raise 'em Up, and you'll instantly get 15% off your order. They are also running specials right now. So as long as you get that promo code in there, Raise 'em Up, and you can take advantage of some of these specials where you might be able to get a variety pack for a little cheaper than normal. Make sure you do so. Great stuff.
All right, absolutely. And I want to also take a time here to tell you guys about...
well, then do it. Just get in there. Go for
That's right.
it.
Our sponsors, Colorize, who had just joined our family a few weeks ago. We're excited to have them aboard. Colorize, the paint professionals. That's right. Colorize is locally owned and operated a Benjamin Moore dealership with locations in Clifton Park, Niskayuna, and Queensbury up north here, right by Lake George. Yes, they focus on the outstanding products from Benjamin Moore, but that's not it. Yeah, as an independent dealer, they also have access to almost everything paint and finish related. I get my Gemini stuff from my Circle stuff, polyurethane, polyester. It's amazing. Check it out. Serving everyone from the professional like me, that's right, and to your do-it-yourselfer out there like Joe. And the Colorize is eager to help, and they're absolutely capable of helping you out with your next project and making it go a lot smoother. Go there and talk to my man Link. He'll help you out. Colorize, right? Paint, color, and advice from local professionals who care. Check them out at mycolorize.com, Joe.
Speaking of being the do-it-yourselfer, I'll just call Jim because he's more of a professional. He can help me out.
He's my handy helper. It works out. We're a great family like that. All right, Joe. So talk about handy helpers and you, focusing on you. We're going to go right to your decapitation of the week.
All right. Excellent. And we got it rolling now.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, decapitation of the week. This week is not someone you would expect. I'll tell you that much. It is not wide receiver. It's not a defensive back. It's a running back. It's DeAndre Swift. Boom! Get out of here. Get back. Take your head off with that hit. Let him truck him over and just keep on going. So DeAndre Swift is our decapitation of the week. It was just too good to be true there.
Let's look at that again.
Just amazing.
Here it is, the impact. And he blasts. That's a corner taking him on. And look at this.
Boom. See
Here we go. Come
Stones
back.
him.
Boom. Just like that. If you guys, I'm sorry, anybody watching or listening to us on your podcast the day after, make sure you guys go to YouTube and check it out. Definitely.
Yeah,
and become a know-it-all by joining our Facebook group, too, as well, and subscribing to us on YouTube so you can see the videos. This is what we like to do. We like to be visual with you guys.
Interactive.
Not only the audio. Apologize to everybody out there if the stream's having a rough time, but we appreciate you joining back up with us. We appreciate it. Post some comments out there, definitely. All right, Joe, I got another segment this week, too. I added a new one because
all right, let's go.
I thought Week 5 was exciting. There's a lot of things that went down. We had the London game, which,
too early.
What the hell is going on with the Jets? I know I'm waking up, on Sunday morning. I'm like it's starting. But it's one thing, too. It's like you wake up on a Sunday and you're getting NFL alerts. You're like, the Jets and the Falcons are playing. I'm like, snooze. Go back to bed. I don't care. And I got fooled by the Jets. I'm like, come on, maybe they got something going on. And
it was a mirage.
It was. I got fleeced, buddy. I got fleeced. But anyway, so it made me come up with this segment that I'm liking to call the good, bad, and the ugly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a team from the past weekend and say which one. There's one that was good, one that was just bad, and then there's stuff that's just plain ugly. So let's take a look at the good here. And the good for me, it's the Buffalo Bills here. In this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, this was the matchup that everybody was kind of looking for here with the Buffalo Bills and the Chiefs. But again, we talked about this game before, on our live broadcast. I was just thinking that, again, the Bills, this has been kind of their heel. You talked about the Ravens and how they could not get past the Chiefs and things. This was the team that the Bills have faced during the season last year. It looks like they should have been able to beat them, and then they lost to them in the playoffs.
Yep.
They needed this win here. I just wasn't sure if I was confident enough in them because, yes, they've shown some games where they were able to explode on some teams and shut them out like they did to the Dolphins. But I was just afraid that this was going to be too big for them, and they had those big leads all the time. That it wasn't going to be enough. But look at the plays they're running here, and boom, pop a fumble there. They were making plays all together, not only on offense and running with Josh Allen, but on defense as well. Turning the ball over, the Chiefs, again, could not get in to go on defense as well. Their defense is leaky as a sieve. And now with that offensive line and that offense being shut down, people have figured out the formula to keep Tyreek Hill in check. And Patrick Mahomes has not been able to get it out to these other guys. And defenses have been a little more handsy and rough with these receivers, much like people claim
definitely more stingy.
that the Chiefs do to them. So now they're giving them back some of their own medicine here. And if you're looking at the plays here again, just their opportunities there. There's no pass rush. He finally gets to him there. But there's been problems with Frank Clark, and then they said Chris Jones being on the defensive end part too, which is bad. But there's a bad interception by Patrick Mahomes. It should have probably been caught too there. That was a tipped pass, but he doesn't look the same too. He looks a bit flustered. And the Buffalo Bills playing on all cylinders here, just getting it done. Not only on defense right there, but offense is working well and playing very well, Joe. What do you think about the Buffalo Bills? Is my good right now?
And that's the thing is, like, what happened in that game is they made the Chiefs' offense one-dimensional. And it started right from the game,
the Chiefs really
the
had to
kickoff,
play hard to get back in there.
because they were always playing catch up throughout that whole game. And then as the game went further and further down, to the fourth quarter, although there was a very long delay.
Yeah.
If anybody was checking in on that game,
watched that whole game too.
there was a storm that was rolled through, and it ended up delaying the game for quite some time until they started back up. But as the game went on, the lead got a little bigger, a little bit more, and it just made that team be so one-dimensional. Then they had to throw. They had to ditch all the running plays.
Clyde Allaire also got hurt too, so that even helped. But they had to get away.
But here's the thing here's the thing is, like, the Chiefs and Andy. I think the world of Andy Reid. I think he's a phenomenal coach. He's a great offensive mind. However, something that's a little different this year for the Chiefs on offense is it seems like they're getting way too pass happy. Not so much running the football. It seems like they're just trying to rack up points early and often, and trying to, like, almost. It seems like they're almost trying to break some kind of a record offensively. They're neglecting that running game that they had. Now that you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire hurt, now he's gone. Not like they used him enough anyway. But it's like now going forward, you're missing one of your starting weapons, and you're going to replace him with what looks like a running back by committee at this point. And it sounds like they're going to add, like, another running back to the backfield via free agency. I'm not seeing the same Chiefs that I saw the past couple of seasons. I'm just not seeing it. The offense is a little different, and I feel like, Patrick Mahomes doesn't need a lot of weight on his shoulders, a lot of pressure. And you're starting to see that now, that teams they're trying to take away Tyreek Hill. Not every team, every defense can do this because, they have a ton of weapons. They do. But Tyreek Hill, seems like every week now, is getting double teamed to take that long ball out of the playbook. But they also have other receivers like Mecole Hardman that I'm kind of surprised they're not using him along with that deep ball plays as well. And then you have Travis Kelce, the favorite target of Patrick Mahomes, and it seems like teams are starting to get it down on how to play this Chiefs offense. And take away Tyreek Hill's deep threat, take away Kelce's underneath, easy high percentage catches and his run after the catch type of plays that he does. And it's like that limits that offense instantly. It's almost like they don't have anybody else but Hill and Kelce. And you need to expand who else you're throwing to, because I've seen Byron Pringle have a good day before. Mm-hmm. I've seen Mecole Hardman be a threat, but it seems like they just don't want to go with those guys all the time. So I think they need to spread the ball around a little bit more, especially if you're going to be throwing a lot. You need to utilize everybody, not just a couple components that are in your offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Bills definitely did it, and the Bills are now probably one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL right now. The way they're playing, they're dominating the bad teams, and now the fairly good teams, again, we know there's a weakness for defense here for the Chiefs, but the offense, again, just dismantling them and taking down a major contender here. And with other teams that were supposed to be upper echelon too, I mean, the Ravens had a few close games this season too as well.
Definitely.
And lost to the Raiders and others out there. So I think this AFC, if you look at the records too,
It's wide open.
it's all open, and
It's
they're
wide
even
open.
in a lot of losses over there. The better teams are in the NFC right now, especially with the records the way they're going. And the more kind of sure things, I guess, for me, I'm not sure about a lot of teams in the AFC. I'm very confused.
Well, to me,
I mean, look at the way the Colts played the other night. It looked like they were going to end up pulling out that win, and then they gave it up to the Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
But the Titans, they're competing for that division, but then, had a big, just a hiccup against the Jets and stuff. So what's going on?
you're seeing parity in the AFC. That's what you're seeing. Teams are more well prepared to face each other up and down that conference. I mean, it's not like a clear-cut one team in that division is going to just trounce everybody else. You're starting to see how evenly distributed the talent is in the AFC, how tough every single week is. There's not going to be like that one team that just surges all the way to the top, like what the Patriots used to do. They used to be the favorites every single year on being not just the winner of their division, but also they were going to be the number one seed. Everybody expected it to happen. Now it's taken a turn to where competition is king right now in the AFC, and you're seeing that. NFC, you can tend to see some more teams pull away from others that are going to be the cream of the crop. And that's kind of how the NFC has been for a while. But AFC, and I don't know if it means that the AFC might be stronger or the NFC might be stronger in terms of teams, but it's two conferences are completely different from each other. You know what I mean? You're seeing a lot more even records in the AFC versus like the NFC. You're starting to see teams tend to pull away. We saw how successful the Rams were early, how the Cardinals are lighting, the NFL up. You're seeing Green Bay that once struggled in the first couple of weeks, now starting to get back on track, and the Bears with a rookie quarterback now at this point, they're kind of up and down. They didn't really impress me, even though the Raiders lost to them. Like, I watched some of the plays that they did, and a lot of them were broken plays. So that's not really impressed with me. But you're starting to see certain teams in the NFC especially, and the Cowboys. How impressive has the Cowboys' defense been right now? I mean, we thought for sure that the Cowboys would have to outscore everybody coming into the season. Didn't think they were going to do too much in terms of defense, but with the emergence of Trayvon Diggs at corner and their draft pick and Micah Parsons playing D-end with DeMarcus Lawrence out, it seems to me like they're starting to figure things out defensively. So, yeah, there's a few teams in the NFC that are starting to just raise up to the top, and it seems like as long as they stay healthy, that's kind of where they're going to stay.
Yeah, and I think injuries really is being a part of it, though, too. The
Injuries is always part of it.
The healthiest teams right now are some of the best ones that are out there.
Yeah, but injuries are always part of it. I mean, listen,
I know that.
Good teams find ways to win no matter what.
All right, Paul says Hill's quickness is off the charts, and then he says he's going to the Jags versus the Bills in a couple of weeks.
Excellent.
So that's exciting. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Paul.
You want to be our sideline reporter?
Yeah. Well, if you're going there, you're part of our Facebook group. Go ahead, post some live videos there from there. Check it out. Share it with all of us. We'd love it. Go live from there. We'll say it. We'll try and tune in ourselves. Check it out.
I want to see some pics for tailgating, though.
Yeah, there you go. Lady Bills is in the house with us tonight. She says, I told someone today that the teams that used to be on the top for years have fallen off, and the ones that have been awful are really starting to come into their own. So, yeah, and that's what's happening. Well, a lot of times you hope that if you've been bad for so long that some of the decisions you've been making,
right.
As far as, GM and
it's
coaches,
going to get better.
That it's going to start getting better and pay off. And yeah, she's a Bills fan. I think Greg Schreiner out there, he's a Bills fan. You guys have seen, I think, this firsthand. You've seen the different coaches you've come. You've had Rex Ryan in there. You've had a bunch of others. And they've stuck with this same coaching, lineup for a while here, and they kind of were on that, trust the process thing. You know what I mean? They could have acted quickly and be like, this ain't working. Let's tear it down. You know what I mean? Not going on. Josh Allen, he's inaccurate right now, but is he the guy? We don't know. And they got the right guys in there, got him some weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Stephon Diggs there, now him, Cole Beasley, all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's working. They got a running back too as well. It works. And then their defense too. We're able to build their defense. So now you've got the full, in a nutshell, team that can hit you on every different side, whether they're offense, running, passing, and defense as well, that they're a tough out all the time. And now this process has worked out for them, and they didn't hit the reset button all the time like you see a bunch of times with all these different organizations, like the Jaguars. You've seen that just not work out so much. Now with everything that's going on with Urban Meyer, with the pictures or the video that is coming out, the decisions he's made, in the offseason and, during the season, voicing his opinions about things. There's trouble going on there. Are they going to get rid of him that quick too? And then all of a sudden you're hitting the reset again. The New York Giants, since, they switched over from Tom Coughlin, they had McAdoo, Shermer, and now they've got Joe Judge, and where they're even considering now, the Gettleman as well, that they might blow it up again, and then where are you at? And you haven't won the Super Bowl since 2011, and you haven't been to the playoffs in a while since then either. And again, on certain decisions that were made. They kept Eli an extra year, and they drafted Saquon Barkley. Went with Daniel Jones the 1 year, at 6 overall, I think it was. And instead of even getting offensive line maybe or something else that was falling to them, and maybe going in on trying to get Justin Herbert the next year. Decisions that are made changes the franchise moving forward. And that's where you are with the good teams were able to fight through and get better. And those teams that are up there, also you got to think about, they had a lot of chips they put in there too, and put it all in the middle of the pile and said, we're cashing in now to try and get it. Mm-hmm. And that's the one decision that these franchises make all the time. Do we make this decision? Do we do all these picks to trade all this in to try to win now? Is it worth it to try and win now if we're just going to have to struggle for a few years afterwards? And that's the decisions these teams make all the time, and that's what we're seeing with some of them.
And you're also seeing teams take the sexy draft picks instead of picks that could really, really bolster their team. Just like you just mentioned real quickly about the Giants and how their past drafts have gone. Listen, you and me have sit in the same room watching the draft, and here's the Giants pick, and it's like Zach Martin's there. Remember that time?
Yeah, I remember when it was Odell.
We thought for sure it was going to be Zach Martin, and instead they end up taking the flashy pick. Not that it was a bad pick, just that we thought for sure, listen, they desperately need help. This guy's right here. He's the number one offensive lineman off the board. You can get this guy. He could be incredible for you guys. He could play tackle, guard. He could play anywhere. Nope. They took the wide receiver, the sexy pick, and in the end, hindsight's 20/20. But now it's like, okay, they moved on from him now. That was a terrible pick, but whatever. But back then, you got to go with the guy that's going to help your team out better. And I don't think receiver was the way to go. Just like, we both kind of had a conversation about that. And then you forward, into the following year's draft and the next year's draft after that, and how there was great offensive linemen. Imagine the O-line that the Giants could possibly have by now. Mm-hmm. Because at this point, they could have drafted Daniel Jones, and he could have had an amazing offensive line in front of him. And yeah, you probably wouldn't have had Saquon Barkley, but when you have that impressive of an offensive line, potentially, that could have done wonders for the team going forward. So, but that's just a small sliver of it. But going back to the Bills, what's incredible about their coaching staff is that Sean McDermott, when he got hired, there was a sense of stability that he was going to bring to the Bills coming from the Carolina Panthers, and he was a defensive-minded coach and a guy that was going to change not only the Bills' defense over, but also he was going to get players to buy in and say, listen, I'm not gonna wave a wand and tell you everything's gonna be easy and we're gonna get through this and everything. He was a very determined coach. He was very respectable. He was direct. He never sugarcoated anything and got his players to buy in. And then when that happened, with the emergence of the offensive coordinator and Brian DeBall, amazing. I didn't know anything about Brian DeBall until he was hired as a Bills offensive coordinator. And He's been amazing for this offense, helping groom Josh Allen, helping this offense develop and get better, along with the additions that they've made offensively and defensively. The D coordinator, Leslie Frazier, this guy, he deserves credibility for this defense as well. McDermott and Leslie Frazier together, they've really made this defense not only turn around, but be one of the best defenses in the league. And with Josh Allen's progress and development now at this point, this offense is on another level, and they are dangerous. So watch out for the Bills. They are in it for the long haul, and it looks like as long as they keep, hey, just like you mentioned, if they can manage to keep the nucleus healthy, all these big-time players, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Devin Singletary in the backfield, in their offensive line, that's key. If they can keep these guys kind of fresh throughout the long run that the NFL has, they could do some damage. You're going to see them deep into the playoffs.
One key point that was brought up, I think, in the broadcast that night, too, was the fact that they are able to use all their players on defense and plug them in here and there and use everybody. And not everybody just
Tyron Johnson,
certain guys just working
the
whole time. And I think that's what keeps them healthy and keeps them going, too, because every guy is being able to rest, and there's always a fresh guy going in there and people making plays. So that's what's been effective for them. And then that's why, again, if you're pressing an offensive lineman, he's been out there trying to protect 5-6 different looks of different guys. I mean, that's going to press on them, and they're going to be effective.
And this is one of those teams that has drafted well. Like they have depth behind their starters. You look at Gregory Rousseau, who was recently drafted this past draft in the first round. A lot of people were saying he's a project. We're not really sure how he can develop in the NFL. Will he be able to make it? This and the other thing. Athletic off the charts. Absolutely amazing. But he's come on strong his rookie offseason and has earned a starting job already. Like he is a reckless abandonment in the backfield. He is creating immense pressure against opposing quarterbacks. And when you got a D-line that has Mario Addison, who they recently added, and Ed Oliver that they drafted in 2019, and Starlo Tulele, who also came over from Carolina. You see that pipeline there. They've managed to group together some vets with some youngsters, and it's just paying huge dividends for this defense. They are truly amazing.
All right, so now enough about the Bills here. Now I'm going to get to my bad team over the weekend.
What we got?
And the bad performance here. It's the bad. It's
the bad.
Yes.
It's the bad.
It's the bad. It's this the
What do you
game. It's going to be just the kickers all together here.
Oh,
for me,
geez.
it's this game. It's
How do you
5 missed field goals. All right, here we go. It's the Packers and the Bengals. Here we go. It's going down. It's tied up 22-22. There's the first one missed by Mason Crosby, and then you've got the kicker for
Eric
McPherson here. He's excited.
Come on,
he can't make it
you
happen.
can do it,
and he misses it. Can't get it going. Doink. He's got the doink too, and it's gone. He can't believe it, but whoever thought we'd see this? That we would have 5 missed field goals, all within even seconds of each other in the fourth, and then even in overtime, Joe. And even a veteran, you've got both perspectives here. You got the veteran and Mason Crosby,
and
you've
got the youngster.
McPherson, the youngster here too, which they had a talk after the game too. Mason Crosby said, you're going to have a bright future, all this blah 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 stuff to him. But amazing though, this game was back and forth, but it's kind of funny because it made it more intriguing on this game because the Packers, you thought they kind of had it, but then you saw these Bengals and Joe Burrow come back through. There it is, another miss there.
That was close, man.
It was almost laughable. So much that there's memes out there about this right now.
You know what this reminds me of?
Yeah.
Flag football.
Right?
How many guys missed the field? Yeah, bro.
Yeah, but that thing's a lot smaller than this thing, though, too, I guess, in perspective, too. But
it's a lot closer, for sure.
It is a lot closer, too. But, and this one, it really makes me laugh, too. It's because he thinks he makes it here on this one, right? Yeah. He kicks it, and then it goes to the left. It hits the flag, and they're all celebrating.
Yeah.
And he's like, And they're like, no, wait, what?
You look.
Huh?
Yeah, wait.
Look, no, there it is. Oh, yeah. And then Mason
That's being
Crosby,
young.
Yes, finally comes through and puts the nail in the coffin with only 2 minutes left over in the whole game in overtime now. Finally makes it though, Joe.
Was this like I just wonder, was this like a scrimmage between kickers or something like that? Because it looked like it. Listen, You got to make those opportunities when they're there. Like
Yeah.
this is your one job. And I'm not. Listen, some situations are not easy. I get it. There's high pressure situations and everything, but this is like we're not even halfway through the regular season. The game, it matters. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like, oh, if we make this, we move on to the playoffs. It's like a lot of pressure built up and everything. Especially Mason Crosby. He's experienced at this point where it should not affect him. He should just be able to kick it straight, boom, send it, and then it would have been over early. Mm-hmm. But it went back and forth. I mean, this is insane. I think, honestly, Crosby, you got to go. Like, you can't be an experienced kicker and miss that many times with an opportunity to take the win earlier and just come up with nothing several times over. And for McPherson, this is a learning experience. You got to get it done when you have the opportunity. And wow, that was really the bad of the week for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, it was the bad, and again the almost the ugly. But again, fantasy owners
pretty
too
close,
have been pretty crazy. Like, what the hell? But even this season altogether, if you look at the kickers, the way they've been missing extra points and everything else, if they wanted that parity, like you mean, or even make it a little harder for kickers to make it, well, there you go, you've had it, and it definitely made it interesting in that particular game.
Imagine,
but this season, imagine that we've seen so many misses, but then also we've seen a record-breaking kick with a 66-yarder there by Justin Tucker himself, though, too.
Lucky.
So, amazing stuff this season.
Bounced off the crossbar and went in. So lucky.
All right, and that leaves now my ugly. We talked about them a little bit earlier here, Joe. It's the Giants here, the ugly when they played here last weekend against the Cowboys.
Oh, boy.
This game was close early on, and I think the Giants still even had an opportunity to stay in this game. But, you know, things like this happen right there. They were just plagued right there with injuries. Saquon Barkley
gets stepped on.
Gets just stepped on. You know, he's walking across here just after the play's kind of over, and I don't know what the defender was going through. I'm not saying he tried to step on his foot on purpose here, but if you watch it in slow-mo and you don't see him really slow down after the play's over, he just kind of like nudges through Saquon because he's obviously not looking at him, you know, and there it is. Ouch. But that happens early in the second here. Oh, man, that looks like. And then also,
did he just look at him?
Yeah, he did. He
Did
looked
he just
over
look at him?
And then you've got Daniel Jones and the run, too, again. And I understand the play, what they're trying to do. I think it was a little too designed wide out.
I give him credit.
Have an opportunity to
I
get
give him credit for the effort. But listen, when you realize that you're not going to make it, you need to slide. You need to not take that kind of a hit. He took a helmet-to-helmet shot and then got driven into the ground.
Absolutely. And then now here, which added on to it, not only were they getting beat badly after Daniel Jones and Mike Glennon comes into the game here, you've got a great play with Kadarius Toney. He's making some great plays with his legs, but look at a little push and shoving. Obviously, they're you know, stressed. They're stressed, and, you know, the Giants are like, oh, this is, you know, they're feeling a lot of it. And but then the punch, Kadarius Toney. I hate this when guys do this. It's like you're tough guys, understanding everything, but you realize you're playing with pads and helmets and stuff, and you decide after this. And the push is one thing, but then you look at him, and then you go and try to punch him, like you're gonna break your finger or your thumb. He's got a helmet, like he's not gonna feel that. Like, guys get concussed by blasting helmet to helmet. Oh, my God. But a fist to the face, and look at Joe Judge get over there. Like, hey, I guess I should go over there. Hey, you guys knock it off. Yeah, come on, for Christ's sake. I mean, look at this. I understand that. You know, you're frustrated, you know, pushing, okay.
Well, he threw him down. That's what started everything.
Oh, exactly.
I mean,
but then they come over here and do the whole point. Oh, yeah, bam. And then you get just taken down to the ground.
Kadarius Toney, you do realize that the guy's wearing a helmet, and you try to, like, almost – like a half-ass closed fist, try to punch him. You realize that if you connected straight on the helmet, you potentially could have broke your hand, and then you're done playing for quite some time.
Yep.
I don't know how severe, maybe the year. Like, guys need to think. Like, I understand you're in the heat of the moment, and someone, like, throws one of your players down. You're going to go up and step up and protect them. But for Kadarius Toney to pop up and try to take a swing, listen, you're not going to do nothing to him. He's wearing protection. He's got a helmet on. Come on. Save that anger. Harness that anger. Listen, I know you're angry, but the next play, you get the ball, you stiff arm the guy real hard. I mean, take it all out on him. But for you to not be in control of your emotions, and that cost you, listen, I know you were losing and everything, but to not control your emotions at that point, and you got the first down. That just got taken away from that action. So got to remain poised and use that anger or whatever, that frustration on the next play.
Yeah, the New York Giants, they're just...
That is one big pile of shit.
Yeah, right now with the injuries that they've had now and then that
they've
type
been
of play,
unfortunate for sure.
Yeah,
with injuries.
Absolutely. And then that game...
You're ugly. You're disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Give me $200.
Basically describes
All right,
the whole
Dr.
thing.
Phil.
So, yeah, Dr. Phil is in on that one.
He's got some...
I want to give a shout-out to... Kevin Sloan in the house with us tonight, who's watching us too. Kevin,
what's going
Sloan,
on?
Yeah, out there checking it out.
Welcome aboard, Kevin.
Shout out for him. And Mike Tackey, he says YouTube just suspended your stream for policy violations. Excellent, cool. Yep, it happens. It's probably because too many NFL videos. Even though I've filed, I've done the disclaimer, so that's fine. Whatever, YouTube, I'll get over it. We'll try not to violate any more rules that they do and stuff, but we'll keep it going. All right, so I'll try to mix it up next time for you guys, so hopefully we don't get in trouble again. So, all right, so Joe, moving on with the show, let's tell everybody about our friends at Johnstone Supply and what they've got going on now for Johnstone Supply.
Yeah, Johnstone Supply, I mean, in Troy, New York, they've been great sponsors of ours, and they're teaming up with Godzilla Media right now. And supporting what is known as Pink Month, right? We're in the month of October. We're damn that fucking cancer. Fuck them. With our, it's going to be their first bus trip. And this bus trip is going to include it's going to be like a UAlbany game that you're going to see, Maine versus UAlbany. All proceeds from the trip will be donated to the American Cancer Society. Join Godzilla Media and Johnstone Supply and help kick cancer. If you need any information, any details on what the tickets are, what have you, for all the information, head over to www.godzillamedia.com, and they have all the information for you. They got the itinerary for you throughout the day, when the bus leaves, where it leaves from, and what have you. But it's all for a great cause, because fuck cancer, and make sure you get your tickets today.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like we might still be on YouTube right now. I don't know. I'm checking it out right now. So we might have at one point, but we're back. So maybe they're forgiving us for using some of the NFL's material. But again, we put it in a disclaimer. We do not own any of the rights to the NFL videos there, but they solely go to the NFL. We're just trying to make the experience better than you guys. We're not trying to steal anything. Sorry. And I edited the videos myself too, by the way. So, all right. So let's bring up to our next segment that I introduced this particular season. And we talk about these players that, have been playing well, and then they all of a sudden they're disappearing. Like, where the hell did this guy go?
Yeah,
and things like
exactly.
that. I've had a bunch of them out there, some quarterbacks, a running back last week. But this week, my milk carton player of the week. Here we go. It's a missing milk carton player of the week, Joe. And it is none other than Sam Darnold.
Sammy!
What happened to Sam Darnold, Joe?
Sammy!
Like, he just was not there. He, had one touchdown and 3 interceptions, and I think it was like 200 yards, I think, somewhere around there. Just started off the game okay, but it was a tight game. But then within the last minutes, just turnover. Looked like he was playing like when he was with the Jets here, and just blew the game for him. They had it right there. They were going to beat the Eagles, it looked like, and then just gave the Eagles wings. And that was terrible. And new life, and gave them an opportunity to win. And there they go. And what's funny is because this division for them, it looks like they have a really strong opportunity to really take it. They should have won games like that. Yeah. And now when you suffer a loss like that, that could hurt, especially when Atlanta comes off of a win here too, and then Tampa Bay still rolling, and then the Saints as well. So that division can get tight, and when you look at games like that where you just let it squander away, that's just no good. And the reason that this team ended up going and trading and get Sam Darnold was for things like this to not happen. Or else they would have just held on to Teddy Bridgewater and things like that. So Sam Darnold,
it's fine.
He's my missing player. Milk carton player of the week. So he was there on the milk carton.
It's
Joe.
only 1 week.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, that's what I said. That's why I do it weekly. And
but that's
why
the thing.
we do this, right?
But that's the thing too, is like Sam Darnold's been amazing for them, the past several weeks. So everybody has a bad day at the office, and this past week was Sam Darnold's.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, so let me take an opportunity to tell you guys about our other friends here that sponsor the show. And I'm talking about Mohawk Honda. That's right. I get to see Mohawk Honda every time I drive through work on Freeman's Bridge Road. They have tons of inventory there, Joe. A huge building. They have also the collision center right there as well. Mohawk Honda. And right now, you got to take advantage of the robust pre-owned inventory and the KBB ICO. What the hell is the KBB ICO? Let me tell you right now. It's a Kelley Blue Book instant cash offer. That's right. Right now in Mohawk Honda, you got to take advantage of this. They will put cash in your hand for your vehicle the same day that you come in. Even if you don't buy from them, it's a pretty sweet deal, isn't it? Especially for everybody that's going to college, students and need a new ride or some extra cash right now. Bring it and trade in your car. You'll figure it out after, Go to Mohawk Honda. They're consistently kept. Their lot fully stocked with hundreds of pre-owned vehicles, and their large inventory makes shopping fun and easy for you to browse. And many makes and models, not just Hondas there. They have other pre-owns there as well. Check out the full selection online. Or just stop in and say hi to Greg Johnson, the assistant general manager. Hot Sauce. Don't forget about Hot Sauce over there. Jake Hot Sauce Doyle and Louis, the VIP man, Morales. Or one of the many other helpful sales consultants out there here at Mohawk Honda. There's a vast selection of Mohawk Honda certified pre-owned vehicles for you. Take advantage of the Kelley Blue Book instant cash offer. Mohawk Honda, Scotia Glenville, right there, Freeman's Ridge Road, where they go out of their way to please you. That's right, Joe. Mohawk Honda. Woo! I'm excited. Yeah, right? I even contacted them too, and about my van. Maybe I might want to trade in, get a truck. I'm not sure. They got back to me right away, and so I might work something out there too. Not sure, but I know that they have selection that I need. They're going to take care of me, and it's going to be an enjoyable process whether I traded my van in or not. So. All right.
Yes, it is. Of course it is.
Yeah. So
because they're great people.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. So, all right. So let's get to our Week 6 picks now, Joe. And right now, let's look at the competition.
Week
it's fierce.
6'em, pick 'em.
Week 6 pick 'em, and here we go. Joe's in the lead. He stretches it out like we talked about it here with Mike Tackett. Mike Tackett had a great week. He went 13-3.
Yeah.
I went off the scheme a little bit with a different couple of ones, but I was really confident. But they end up being 2 more losses. So now I'm down behind Joe some more. But that's all right.
That's all right. You'll come back.
It's a long season. We'll
Got
see.
a
But
lot
you know
more
what?
Picks.
Again, and I'm not making any excuses because I still went 12-4. And, Joe, you were just that much better. Lights out. 14-2. You can't ask for anything better than that. That was
I should have
amazing.
picked Chicago against my Raiders.
You could have,
done
but
that.
I mean, it could have went anywhere. I mean, but for you to go 14-2,
I had a sliver of confidence in my own team. And it just didn't work out.
Hey, and I bought in too as well. You sold me, so who knows?
I didn't sell nothing.
But anyways, here we go. We've got Week 6 picks. Mike Tackett's are in there.
Week 6
I'll have to
picks.
check them out in a bit. But
Oh, yeah,
let's
hold
go.
on. I can
Start
go
off
back.
with Tampa Bay and Philadelphia here, Joe. Tampa Bay, they coming off a win here. Jalen Hurts, I like it when he's on the run, making some plays happen. That defense still plays pretty tough here, so I think this is going to be a closer game than people would imagine because, again, everybody still has that aura of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But that defense on the secondary is still leaky as hell, too. They're really struggling right there.
True.
And, again, people are showing, again, just pressure Tampa Bay. Tom Brady. That's right. Triple on my words.
Tom Brady.
You pressure him, you can get results here. The team isn't the superpower that they might have looked like they were last season. I still like Tampa in this one, but again, I think Philadelphia will make it a good game here.
I'm a little concerned for the Eagles' offense and what they're going through right now.
They even have some injuries there too.
Listen,
Goddard's not going to be playing in that
we
game.
talked about the Eagles last week and just said the same thing that's happening still. They don't have an identity yet.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems like they're like kind of playing backyard football.
I was just going to say that.
With Jalen Hurts and him running around, creating more time, sometimes rushing for some yards, and then also kind of like gimmick plays, if you will, like RPOs and stuff, and then he's running outside the pocket, threatening to run, but then throws the ball to it's a lot. It's all over the place, and I'm not really sure what's happening there. Miles Sanders has kind of disappeared this season for the Eagles. They don't really utilize him that much. He's not a big part of this offense, and the offensive line is strong, but they're going through some injuries right now. And this is they're no strangers to this happening to them. So defensively, they still got some weakness at that linebacking core. I thought for sure like maybe Jalen Smith might have been one of those targets in free agency that they would have went out and grabbed since his release, but that didn't happen. And then overall, like their secondary is pretty solid, but they're going through some things. They're still not being able to show me anything week to week just yet. They're up and down every single week. Tampa Bay, they're going through some injuries as well, and it's more on defensively than offensively. So I feel like Tampa Bay, they're the team to beat still. Like despite their defense and the injuries that they have there and how weak they are defensively, their offense is amazing. Like Antonio Brown looks like the Antonio Brown of old, and he's taking advantage of any opportunity given. You got Chris Godwin. You got too many weapons there, really. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay, too. I'm going to have them go into Philly and get the win as well.
Yeah, I hear you there. And what's funny, I think the Tom Brady aura has happened to Tampa Bay fans. I know Paul and Mike are down there in Florida. Do you guys get this kind of thing from Tampa Bay fans out there now that, like, if they have any kind of struggles, they're like, what the hell is wrong with this team? Our secondary sucks. Like, oh, my goodness, the sky is falling.
It's called injuries, bro.
Even though, like, they still are, like, a decent team. They'll get all the players that they have, so and they're still the favorites.
Their front seven's still solid.
It just seems like they're like, oh, no, what's going on? You know what I mean? Why is
the
this
brakes.
Close? But it's
Pump
just
the
funny.
brakes, Bobby.
Maybe it just goes with having Tom Brady as your quarterback. Well, here we go. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they've been in a lot of games, Joe. They're playing it tight. It's
they're
on that cusp of just getting a win. They're so tight. And the Miami Dolphins, I don't know what the hell I expect from these guys either, man. And, I mean, Tua, he's getting better and healthier day to day. So is he going to be able to go and play in this game? Because I don't know what to get out of Jacoby Brissett either. It looked like he was starting to turn the corner, but then now not so good.
No,
and
he's not.
Like,
he's not the answer.
And right now it seems like Gaskin was trying to be your whole offense, and you can't have that even. So this team is in disarray. It could be that they're on the tail off here. So maybe Jacksonville at home has the advantage. You think Jacksonville can pull out a win here?
And the funny thing is they're playing in Europe. This is a 9:30
a.m.
game.
This is the Europe game.
And it's the Battle of the Sunshine State
they
in
do this all the
UK.
time. That's right. It's the early game in London. Oh, my gosh. Why do they do this to London all the time?
But I don't know. Listen,
like
teams don't want to go over there as it is.
Between the Jets and the Falcons, and now they get this one.
Nobody wants to go there.
Well, nobody wants to.
You know what I mean? I mean,
but if you want to show off your product, don't you show them the finest thing? You know what I mean? If I'm selling lawnmowers, I'm not going to pull out the cheapest little thing or the plug-in electric one.
Isn't it awfully funny on how the certain teams get selected to go over there? I don't see the Cowboys going over there.
It's always the same ones.
I don't see.
Jacksonville has been there forever.
Yes.
Going,
You got to remember too, they're on the east side, so it's easier transition than say like a team from the West Coast. You know what I mean? So that might be something the NFL looks into. But once in a while, they do throw in like a team like from the West Coast or whatever. But it is a brutal trip to take that far away. So this is the Battle of the Sunshine State in London. You got the Miami Dolphins. I mean, I don't know what to make of it. Their offensive line is putrid. Like it still hasn't come together. They haven't found the right mixture of linemen up front. They're battling injuries too. And then you got Tua, who actually did practice today, and I don't know. And they're hoping he'll be available for this game. They don't know exactly yet. Obviously, it's the middle of the week, so they got a couple more practices to go until they make that decision. But hey, if Tua plays, I still expect, because Tua's been out several weeks, to show a little bit of rust after not playing a few games. So, and then Jacksonville, they're kind of up and down. We don't really know what to make of them yet. They're not consistent. Trevor Lawrence might look like the next coming of their franchise quarterback and is going to take over the league by storm one week. And then the next several weeks, he just looks not that good. Everything's off kilter there. So this one's a toss-up to me. I'm going to go with the team that's has a little bit more of a grasp, I guess, on quarterback. I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
All right, here we go. Joe's going Dolphins here. This is a tough one for me here too. I'm not sure where to go on this one, but seeing though I think it is a toss-up here, you know what? I'm going to roll with Jacksonville. I'm going to live and die by it. I need to gain a couple of games here on Joe. I'm going to go with Jacksonville, I guess. All right, here we go. The Green Bay Packers now and the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears looking a little different here now. Justin Fields is at the helm. And the Green Bay Packers, though, again, almost let one slip away right there with the Cincinnati Bengals. So it's tough there. Will we see some of Jalen Smith in this game? On defense to help out that defense a little bit there.
Absolutely.
For them. So hopefully for them that would be great because it looked like last week even Preston Smith was trying to do a whole lot for them. Yeah. But the Chicago Bears, they shine a new light here. Now they have a new quarterback back there, and maybe we'll see this offense geared to what it could potentially be overall. But even though Chicago's been playing better, this is going to be a tough game, divisional game. I think I'm going to side with the Green Bay Packers on this one.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay, when you got Aaron Rodgers versus the Bears,
it's
and their defense is playing well. It's not playing great at times, but it's playing very well, solid football, and that's really what you need against this young Chicago offense. Listen, they are missing out on their I believe, Jermaine Ifedi, it was the right tackle. He's gone for the next 3 weeks. He's on short-term IR, so that's going to be an even bigger loss. Their offensive line has been pretty weak, in terms of starting, caliber type of lineman. But now it just got weaker. And you're going up against a division rival in the Packers. So I fully expect the Packers to go into Chicago and get a W.
All right, there you go. He's going with the Packers as well. All right, the Cincinnati Bengals here and the Detroit Lions. Lions, again, suffering some injuries, too, as well on their end. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow has that possible throat contusion, but he's cleared by the doctors there at the hospital, so he seems like he's okay, good to go here. But playing really tight. Detroit, though, they're suffering some more injuries, like I said, as well. Just can't get and plus it was Frank Ragnow that's not going to be with them, so that's a major
the center's
part
going for the year
for that team. So unfortunately, I think the Detroit Lions lose this one again, and they still don't chalk up their win, even though I said maybe they were the first offer that was going to get a win. The way they've been playing, I've cursed them now as well. So here we go. I am sorry, Detroit Lions and the Lions fans. So I'm going with the Bengals here.
I feel for the Lions at this point. Jared Goff he's played a pretty solid season so far, and he's impressed some people. And I've actually been really impressed with the Lions defense. Out of everything. Dan Campbell coming in, talking the big talk. We're going to be tough. We're going to be grimy. We're going to be in your face. We're going to bite your kneecaps off and what have you. I mean, he's really, brought together this team as an organization.
At the press conference
and he was very emotional last week because they were so close to getting a W, and it just slipped out of their fingers. I really commend them. I think they're going to fight hard in this game, but in the end, I also am going to go with Cincinnati. I think with Joe Mixon coming back last week, which he was in risk of being out, it just shows me that he's going to be okay. He's going to move on. He's going to probably rest this week a little bit more so he can be fresh for this week's game, and that's going to pay off for this offense. I'm going to go Cincinnati.
All right, here we got the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. Texans have been playing pretty tough football, even though they've also been getting Davis Mills clobbered.
Right. And here's the thing with Houston is I feel like I'm still waiting for the news for Tyrod to come back. You know what I mean? Because he's so mobile. He gives this Houston offense a little added bonus at that position. Being able to run away from the pass rush, or being able to create more time to get rid of the football. And Davis Mills, not that mobile. He's a pocket quarterback, and we're seeing it. Listen, he's doing the best he can. I commend him as a rookie quarterback, and he's shown something. He's shown some flashes that he could really develop into that starting caliber quarterback for them, if they need him in the near future, or even now as it is. But still waiting to hear from Tyrod. Is he coming back yet? Still haven't heard anything. He should be close, but I haven't heard nothing yet. So because of that, I like what I saw from the Colts last week. The defense started to come alive. Listen. The Carson Wentz played pretty darn well last week against a tough Baltimore Ravens opponent in Baltimore, and how stingy sometimes that defense can be, even though they've had their ups and downs as well. But I like the Colts at home in this one.
All right. Now let's move on to the next one. He likes the Colts here. Did I even pick one?
No,
I don't
you
think
had to
I
pick.
didn't. Oh, yeah, you jumped right over there. So I'm going to say the Colts, too, they let one get away from them. last week. Again, should have probably put
They
the nail
played
in the
well.
coffin, but again, they kind of, I think, got too lax there and tried to settle, and then it ended up biting them in the ass.
So just to
I'm
recap,
going to go with the Colts as well.
just to recap, Mike Tackett's picks were the Bucks, the Dolphins, the Packers, the Bengals, and the Colts.
All right, there we go. So only the one that's different is the one I picked. I picked the Jaguars, so maybe I'll switch to the Dolphins. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I like to play it on a whim here.
Next up,
what
Rams,
do we got?
Giants.
Rams, Giants. Giants are losing. I like the Rams. There we go. Make it nice and simple. Well, again, it's in. They say Daniel Jones might be good to go. We'll see.
But
again,
you
what are you
never
going to do?
know.
Line them up against with Aaron Donald pressuring you too? That's not
telling you.
always good either. Again, with the injuries piled on top of each other too. It's just not very good. This team is just going to have a rough going.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to have Saquon Barkley for probably the next 3 weeks. You're not going to have, some players. You might have
Kenny Galladay dodged the surgery, I think, but I mean, still,
right,
he's,
but
he's
still,
banged up.
he's banged up. You got Sterling Shepard probably returning this week, which will help, but in the end,
You got Mike Glennon throwing the ball
it's
possibly
set,
too.
right.
So.
You got the Mike Glennon trending towards being the starter. This offensive line hasn't been the most solid, and that's been the biggest problem there for the Giants. And they're missing some pieces on defense.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot replace a guy like Blake Martinez. You just can't. The guy. I mean, they did their best and everything, but I just feel like the Rams, they're too strong of an opponent. They're just way too strong. When you got Aaron Donald, who could literally throw 2 offensive linemen around like the rag dolls, and then you got the secondary to contend with this Rams defense and how well they're playing. And not to mention, Matt Stafford, everybody, is killing it with the Rams. He is lighting it up. So with the Rams offense, I just think they're just too strong for the Giants. I'm going L.A.
All right, here we go.
Next up,
who we
Kansas
got?
City gets a win. It's
you
at
go.
Washington.
It's that Washington football team. Taylor
What?
Heineke.
I still can't figure out Washington's defense and what happened to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. They have the same personnel, and then they upgraded even better, and they're playing worse. How does that make any sense? Something had to change there. And then with Taylor Heineke at quarterback, you know that sometimes he looks really good. Then the play to play, he could look really bad. He could throw have a bad decision and end up throwing an interception. So I'm not 100% confident in this Washington team. They have greatly disappointed me. And Kansas City is also a little bit of a disappointment. When you're looking at it from the outside in, this team has struggled. And it's being more and more known that Mahomes, everybody wanted to plaster him on posters and say he's the MVP. He's like the greatest quarterback, in the NFL and all this other things. And listen, stop. Because you're seeing some of the problems that he has. He does make bad decisions. Tom Brady is the better quarterback in this league right now. Still at the age of 44. Patrick Mahomes has got a long ways to go. Even with all the weapons that he has, he's still kind of making bad decisions. He's still forcing the football at times, and you're seeing that week to week. But in this matchup, I can't see it any other way. Kansas City's got to get this win here.
All right, there you go. And Kansas City Chiefs, again, same thing. This is a good game they could bounce back from. Washington, like you said, hasn't shown that they could be that defense that they were previously.
I'll be shocked if Washington pulls this
If they
out.
pull this one off, then Kansas City, then you've got to hit the emergency escape hatch here because
Hit the panic button.
Hit the panic button because you're like, what the hell is going on here? Because we're losing now.
Yeah, and Mike Tackett, his picks were the Rams against the Giants, and he picked the Chiefs as well.
All right, and Paul's got his picks coming through too.
Paul's got his picks.
He's got Tampa Bay. He's got the Packers, the Bengals, the Colts, and the Rams. He didn't pick and he says Kansas City. He didn't pick the Dolphins game. But Dolphins or Jags? Who
Dolphins
you
or
got
Jags, Paul?
Yeah, definitely find out who you want in that one. And let's move on to the next one, Joe. We got the Minnesota Vikings and the Carolina Panthers here. Carolina at home. Minnesota playing pretty good here. They've had some close ones here, but pulling out some wins. Yeah. Carolina again, had a little sputter, but again, despite, and that's what's sad about that game. They had it, and if it wasn't for poor quarterback play, I mean, when you have your running back,
too many turnovers,
a backup running back that you have, Hubbard right there,
Hubbard, yeah,
running and getting 100 yards rushing in that particular game,
right?
you don't expect to lose this game, and then to lose like that in the last waning minutes here for the Eagles to bounce back and get back into this game and have that loss. Now you've got to fight a tough opponent here in the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, it's going to be tough to come back from that one, but I think I'm going to ride with Minnesota here in Kirk Cousins, and you like that.
And that nice.
He even said that after. You see him when he mouthed it when he shook the coach. Like, somebody's like, "Yeah, you like that. You like that." And I'm just like,
"Oh God,
Kirk Cousins, easy."
You know, it's worn out. It's
like,
welcome by now.
Yeah, grabbing his shoulders. It's like, "Yeah, buddy." It's like.
But here's the thing: is you got to execute on all three phases of the game. And when you start to turn over the football like Sam Darnold did in the Carolina Panthers, you're not going to win very many games. So hopefully they come back strong. I'm going to go. I like Minnesota. I like how tough they're playing. Their defense is much better. Their offense is very competitive. But I'm going to stick with Carolina on this one. I feel like they're going to bounce back this week, and they're going to get a win at home.
All right, here we go. Joe's going with Carolina. I could go further down.
I like the fact that they got. I like the fact
it's a blowout, man. I'm just going to start drinking now.
I like the fact that they got Stephon Gilmore. I think that's going to be a huge get. Not to mention they also have C.J. Henderson. So they're going to end up replacing those guys that are still injured right now at corner, and I feel like that's going to make the difference up for them.
Joe, we have a very special guest in the house with us tonight.
What? It's Swervo!
Swervo Gaming YT in the house. He gets the double.
Wow, where have you been, bro? We missed you over here.
I thought I lost you. And Swervo, you're back. And I'm glad that you're checking us out on YouTube. So then we are not kicked off of YouTube right now. We're still going, even though they tried to suspend our stream. We're good. We are back. Swervo, pleasure having you in there. Mike Tackett said, are we keeping track of Know-It-All's picks too? It'd be fun to see how everyone is done at this point. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It stinks. I'm terrible at that. But if you guys keep doing that, keep track and let us know. That'd be easy. Then maybe I can.
There's a lot of Know-It-Alls out there. So, if you guys can keep track of your own records, and then, just like Mike Tackett's been doing, he's been keeping us updated, letting us know his overall record, and week to week. You know what I mean? So, that's one way we can all kind of keep track together.
Yep. And again, this year has been crazy. Joe's been on point, and it's been really a good competition so far. It should be exciting at the end of the season. And I'm still unsure with some of these AFC teams, who's winning what. That's what I mean. Every time I'm going through the picks, it's
football.
I don't know. It could go either way.
And that's it. And Mike Tackett, he picked the Panthers as well.
All right, there you go. He's going with the Panthers. All right.
We got next.
So next up, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be a tough matchup here again. Oh, my goodness, because Ravens coming back into that game and pulling out the victory at the end. What an exciting game. First, before we get to this, I'm just going to bring up Swervo here. He says, I'm 3-2 in my league right now, trying in the his fantasy league. Yeah, it's nice. Tough, dude.
Hey, you know what? 3-2 is fine at this point.
It is.
You got a long season to go still, and you're going to be fine. You just stick with it.
Yeah, the week that Joe and I are in together, we have just been riddled with injuries. So we are just
really
a team of
team
bench players. Yeah, it's a whole
whatchamacallits.
Yeah, it is rough. We are just doomed.
Yeah,
it was a 14-team draft too, and it was just rough.
It was terrible. We ended up with Miles Sanders, which is probably the biggest disappointment.
Many
disappointments. Unbelievable.
One after another, and then again, all the good ones ended up getting injured. So it is what it is. That's fantasy. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So Paul, he says Chargers here. This is going to be a close matchup. Like I said, Baltimore Ravens able to get back into that game. It was an exciting game. Holy smokes.
I'll tell you what right now, too, about that game in particular is what you witnessed from Lamar Jackson is a never-give-up attitude.
Yeah.
A guy that never thought the game was over at a reach. He was all in from right, even when they gave the ball back to the Colts, never fazed him. He knew that his defense would come through, get the stop, and get the ball back to him, and he just took over that game. He started to be more aggressive in terms of his running ability. He started to be more aggressive in creating time and getting rid of the football to his tight end. Mark Andrews played a huge part of that comeback, and you started to notice Lamar Jackson evolve as more of a quarterback that can do both. He can kill you with his legs, but he also has been able to kill you with his arm at times. So a complete and utter X factor, You know what I mean? Against anybody that they go up against. So this week will be no different. Baltimore, listen, their defense, they've given up some plays, but they also played well at times. The Chargers have been rock solid. I mean, let's just face it. The defense for the Chargers has played, remarkably well and staying healthy, which is key. Justin Herbert at the helm with this offense. What can you say? The guy's been killing it. You know what I mean? He's just been rock solid. Nothing phases him. He doesn't feel pressure. He looks completely confident, poised in the pocket. If he has to, he'll run with his legs. But doesn't make any mistakes. I guess that's the biggest thing of all is that the Chargers, defensively or offensively, they're playing mistake-free football for the most part. And that's amounting to wins. This game right here is going to be a pretty darn good game to watch. Might be game of the week, maybe.
Right. So who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Baltimore at home.
All right, he's going to go with Baltimore at home.
I think eventually the Chargers are going to have to get another loss.
Yeah.
And I feel like coming from L.A., going to Baltimore, typically teams don't do so well. But I like the way Lamar Jackson, what he showed me in that matchup last week. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Baltimore.
All right, I'm going to go with the Chargers here. All right, we've got the Arizona Cardinals here. The undefeated Arizona Cardinals going into Cleveland and playing the Browns. Again, two good teams. Again, Arizona, they're kind of due for a loss. Is it going to be here with the Cleveland Browns? Another great defense that they're going to be facing here in the Browns.
Yep.
But, again, that offense for the Arizona Cardinals has been really nice, too, and very explosive. So, it's tough. And what's funny is, too, is like you see them beat you on different ways again.
Yeah.
And that's what you see with great teams. The Cardinals aren't just giving it to this guy every time, this and this. You see this guy. When they needed him the most last week, it was DeAndre Hopkins.
Absolutely.
And then he was able to get him where they needed to go. But then opposite weeks, they've been able to get some of these other guys active and get it going. And then, again, we'll get that defense. It's really great. But going into the dog pound is going to be tough here. And how is this the Cleveland Browns going to respond here against one of these teams? Baker Mayfield, is he completely healthy on this one? Because I know he's
still got that torn labrum. That's not going to go away. He's got to play with that the rest of the season until he has surgery. So, and it's the opposite shoulder. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, we talked about it last week about how it may affect him, like if he gets hit hard or something like that. Yeah. But he played pretty darn well. Yeah. And he. It seems like he's the same Baker as always. So until he gets hurt, I guess, from it, you can't think any other way about it.
All right, I'm going to be with Paul on this one. He says Browns with the upset. I'm going to go with Cleveland Browns here as well. I think Arizona's kind of due for a loss. I think this is going to be a great matchup, though. It's going to be really.
It's going to be a good game.
So I'm going with the Cleveland Browns on this one.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are kind of close. I mean, I love what Arizona's been doing. They've been killing it. They're still undefeated. Could they continue to be undefeated? I mean, I honestly think with Cleveland's got their fair share of injuries too, and that kind of concerns me. And going into this matchup, Jedrick Wills needs to play. Like, he didn't play last week, and they did okay. You know what I mean? They were all right. But if Wills doesn't play this week, this Cardinals defense is going to lunch, baby. They have been killing quarterbacks left and right. Intense, pass rush. They've been swallowing running backs in the backfield. I mean, this team has been, killing it. Even on offense, they're just like Jim was mentioning. They're hard to defend. Like the Cleveland Browns, they got a good pass rush. They got Jadeveon Clowney on one side and they got Myles Garrett on the other. But man, they need to hone in on defense because Arizona can beat you with the quarterback running. They can beat you running the football. They can beat you throwing the football. It's tough to defend. I'm going to rock with my Arizona Cardinals still here. I think they remain undefeated going into Cleveland.
All right, we've got a lot of different ones. This could get crazy here, but we've seen this when we've done this before. We've ended up breaking even on this. What are the picks going right here? I know Paul says
go ahead.
Browns, but what did Mike Tackett go with?
Mike Tackett went with, what is it?
Probably the Browns, right?
He went with the Ravens the last game, and then he went with the Browns this game.
All right, there we go. So we could be all over the map on these ones here. All right, next we got the Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos, a tough divisional matchup here. Broncos now with Teddy Bridgewater back, you
Yep.
know, so that helped them out, I think, last week, which made it really a tighter game.
Yep.
But now you got the Vegas Raiders. How are they going to respond after everything and stuff, you know, with the new interim coach and things? I mean, yes, he's familiar with them as well, but the press, that's probably going to be bothering him here and there. Derek Carr having to answer questions, all this stuff.
Yeah, they're moving past it.
But they've
worried
had a
about it.
couple of losses here now. I think this might be a team-building experience for all of them here. And I think Paul just said it right there, nail in the coffin, when he just posted that comment. He says, Raiders with an emotional win. I think I'm going to ride with them on this one too as well. Even though they've been plagued with injuries, that secondary has made a bunch of mistakes.
Man.
But
Well, no, they haven't made mistakes.
but I think this is where I'm going to roll with here. I'm going to say the Vegas Raiders on this
I
one.
wouldn't say they made mistakes. I feel like it's the lack of starters.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really
yeah.
what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been playing, and actually last week they played pretty darn well. The backup corners that they had, they were pretty close. They were close on every single pass. They were right there. I don't blame the secondary at all for last week. I blame the offense.
Oh, yeah,
Honestly.
that's definitely a problem
I mean,
for them.
that was the thing. The defense was on the field the whole game.
Yeah.
So your defense going to get tired eventually. They can't keep up that same intensity throughout all 4 quarters.
Yeah.
You got to score points and help them out and give them a rest.
Yep,
And
yep.
and the Raiders just never did that.
Yeah,
This
Derek Carr
this
did not
week
play his best either.
and it possibly could stem from that Thursday night when they met with Gruden. Gruden had he talked to the whole team and told them everything and apologized and this, that, and the other thing. And going into that week against Chicago, you had to think that it was in the back of all their minds throughout that game too. Like they were playing, but when you watched the game, it didn't look like they were just playing all out like they normally do. So now that page is turned now, they're going to look to move forward. I feel like this is going to be a good team builder going forward. And I like the Vegas roster better than I do Denver. Listen, Denver also is still missing Jerry Jeudy. He's not back yet. And it seems like he might be out another couple weeks until he returns. I know this is going to be a close game. It's a division rivalry game. These usually go down to the wire. But I'm going to ride with the Raiders as well. I think they're going to end up edging them out with a field goal.
We've got the Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots. Patriots, again, have fought hard. The defense has been up and down. And, again, I think Mac Jones, you see him kind of come into his own here and there week to week. I think it's still going to be a growing process here. I think this is going to be a tough game, too, as well. The Dallas Cowboys, I commend them for everything they've been doing. We already kind of knew the way this is offense. It was built to be explosive. I mean, look at the players they do have. I mean, CeeDee Lamb coming off a great season. He's right there in the slot or wherever you want to put him. Amari Cooper's there as well. You got Zeke. You got Tony Pollard in the back. You can just keep naming the guys, you know. And Dak Prescott, healthy, playing well. Taking care of himself, you know, as well. I don't see him really scrambling so much like he had before in the past. But again, that defense, like you said, playing better than we kind of expected, and that was the major factor in deciding what was going to go on with this team and how far they can actually go. And looking at their schedule moving forward, seeing they beat some of the other tougher teams now, their schedule looks really good for that moving forward. It really complements them and really is going to pave the path for them to take this division and go into the playoffs. So once they face some of those tougher teams, though, we'll see how they stack up. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, now looking at the way they have been playing here, too, their caliber is kind of diminished in a sense. Yes, they're one of the better teams that are out there, but have their own issues as well, and that could be something you gauge with the way the Cowboys have played along with the Bucs. You know, actually, the Bucs kind of, if you flip-flop it, they're kind of playing the way I thought the Cowboys would have been. You know, you got to keep putting up points here because your defense in the secondary has been giving up some plays. But Trayvon Diggs, nice story, been very opportunistic, I think, on some of the plays, but playing well still, good coverage. But I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to still end up pulling out a victory here against the New England Patriots.
Here's the thing that's scary about this game is
Paul says, upset Patriots, Mac Jones shows out. That'd be great. I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. It's possible Mac Jones could show out. But the other big concern is going into this week, there's been rumors about them missing 4 starting offensive linemen. And if that happens, it's going to be a rough one because you're going to have Micah Parsons coming at you. You're going to have a lot of the Cowboys. When they send pressure, they're even more deadly. So I think this is going to be an uphill battle for New England, and especially if they can't get their linemen back in time for this game. That's going to be critical at this point because Mac Jones needs protection. Just like Tom Brady needed it when he was in New England. They had one of the best offensive lines. When they have their starters, it's just that. It's one of the best offensive lines. But it sounds like they might be missing 4 of them, which is pretty much your whole line.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
that's got to be concerning a little bit. I feel like the Pats defense, is going to do well against the Cowboys offense. I feel like they're going to keep them kind of in check a little bit. But in the end, it's if you're any team and you're missing your 4 starters, we already seen what it's like when you're missing like a couple, and how devastating that can be. But if you're missing 4, that's not a recipe to have a good outing against the opponent. So I'm going to have to go with Dallas in this one. If in fact this offensive line is not going to be showing up, I feel like that's too big of a loss for them injury-wise.
All right, there we go. So Mike Tackett says, Rex Ryan on the Patriots chancing on making the playoffs. He goes, hell no, because you have a pea shooter at quarterback, Ryan said. Give me a break right there. This team should have been beaten by the Houston Texans right now. A playoff team? Playoffs? No chance at this thing. Look, their defense is not as good as they've been. Hey, the ball travels down the field more than 15 yards. That's bad news for. I was gonna say bad news for this guy right here. He reminds me his closer to Danny Werfel than is Tom Brady. Okay.
Rex Ryan, you're an idiot.
Rex Ryan, though.
I'm just gonna say that you're a dipshit.
Well, he hates the Patriots anyway.
Yeah,
so
I know, but
go.
you know what?
But,
if you don't do your homework, like if you're just going on a rant, and this is what he does a lot when I forgot what show he's on, but
he
does
his
this a
own
lot.
podcast thing in New York.
But even he's like on an ESPN show, and they talk about the NFL games and stuff like that
too, or something.
No,
like
not
that.
Good Morning Football. He's on ESPN.
It's Get Up. I think it's Get Up.
Yeah, that's it. With Greeny, with Greenberg.
Get Up. Yeah.
But the thing is like he goes on these rants and stuff, and it's just like he kind of goes off on a whim. Like he doesn't do his homework or anything. He's just making fun of the kid because he's a rookie, and he doesn't give him a chance. But you know what? We've seen evidence of him doing just well.
That's what I say, Mike Tackett.
Look at when they played the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Good opponent to play against, and he actually lit it up. He did a really good job. I didn't see anything but a leader at quarterback. I didn't see anything but a guy who can get the job done. And for Rex Ryan to make those comments and stuff, he's truly an ass.
Sit down.
Just sit the fuck down, Rex.
Don't be rude.
Yeah, I can be rude.
All right. So yeah. Who knows? Again, and he's high on Zach Wilson, but again, he's like he's like, he's just not playing well and stuff. So he goes, but he's the best thing since Joe Namath. He says so. Who knows? Everybody's got opinions. Again, it is what it is. And he's always had a thing against the Patriots stuff. And
of course,
some of the things he did say, the defense isn't playing as well at times. But then look how they played against the Buccaneers when they game plan and they know certain guys and what they're going to do. That's why they play the games. Again, that's another saying that's out there. That's why you play the games. They don't just put them on paper and pick winners. All right, here we go. So next, we've got the Sunday night game. I think they should probably swap this game out, maybe, for a different one. Because, again, the Seattle Seahawks without Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers without Juju Smith-Schuster with them, too, as well. This is going to be a rough matchup, I think, to watch with these two teams. I think they should sub out some other ones here. But, Joe, what do you got in this one here? This is rough.
Seattle's got to travel to Pittsburgh. Typically, Seattle doesn't play that well when they have to travel, especially like towards the East Coast.
You got Geno Smith in there, right?
And they have Geno as the starter. Russell Wilson is no longer the starter, everybody.
Wow.
This is going to be difficult, I feel, for Seattle moving forward without Russell for the next 3 to 4 weeks, it sounds like, maybe even a little bit longer, depending on how quick he can get back and healed up. And we also had questions about Seattle's defense coming into the season on how are they going to be able to keep a pass rush up, and are they going to be able to defend the pass, and are they going to do a lot of these things? Bobby Wagner is truly an amazing linebacker, one of the best in the league still, and he can't do everything on defense. And just this week, we've witnessed one of their starting corners request a release.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Trey Flowers, was granted.
Yeah.
So he's released. He was the starting corner on one side. Now they don't even have a starting corner there. Like, what is going on in Seattle? And this just begs the question, like, Russell Wilson, he was pissed off this past offseason, and almost was contemplating, I want to be traded. But, you know what I mean, didn't follow through with it. And now if you're Russell Wilson and you get injured and you're starting to see, like, oh, they just let go our starting corner now? Like, how does that make us better? And now going forward, like, if you don't help improve this offensive line next offseason, I think Russell Wilson is going to want out.
Well, yeah, when you look at it, he's been getting hit consistently. You've seen it, but the one thing that has been able to be and happen is he's been able to stay healthy throughout all of it.
Yes.
Russell
all
Wilson
the
has
hits
been able
and everything?
to stay healthy until now. So will that change, again, in his perspective, what happens moving forward? Because now they're going to see what happens when you don't have Russell Wilson in there and you have Geno Smith in there.
And here's the thing about this is the main reason why Russell Wilson was kind of saying, you know, I'm thinking about leaving this franchise altogether. I might want to get out. Is because he noticed that they weren't even trying to bolster that offensive line to help protect him. So he doesn't take all those hits. And then they were like, oh, okay, all right, Russell, we'll make it better. We'll pull off a trade and get Gabe Jackson from the Raiders. Now we got a guard. We'll sign this guy, bring him in. Now we got another offensive lineman. Okay, but is that just a Band-Aid to keep Russell Wilson there for this year? Now what happens further? So Russell Wilson, this is going to be one of those situations that this issue that Russell Wilson had in the past offseason, this could resurface next offseason if they don't do anything. So that's something to monitor in itself. But this is going to be an uphill battle for Seattle. And now they're missing a starting corner. I don't know the next man up mentality, how the next guy can step in and play. That hurts them. And then now you have to travel to Pittsburgh. Now Pittsburgh's defense, they've been playing extremely well. TJ Watt is still there. Like, this pass rush is going to get after Jesus, what's his name? Geno Smith.
Geno Smith, yeah.
You know,
Rex Ryan loves Geno Smith, though.
That's great. Rex Ryan. So that means that he's probably going to suck. So, but here's the thing: what I witnessed last week in Geno Smith, when in his limited time on the football field, is he didn't do terrible. He had like 77 yards rushing. You know what I mean? On like 10 attempts or something like that. And then he threw the ball okay, but he also made some mistakes. He also turned the ball over a couple times in limited fashion. So going up at Pittsburgh's defense and Pittsburgh offense, they're going to try to run the ball with Najee Harris and everything. I'm going to go with the Steelers on this one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Steelers too as well, again, because the Seattle, and it was funny because I think I picked Seattle to get last in this division. They were trying to prove me wrong with this one. This is only going to help that now, so I feel good about it.
Yeah.
All right, here he goes. Mike Tackett with the 12th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. Gio, you want to do this one?
Yes.
Go ahead. Take it away.
All right. With the 12th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select quarterback Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma.
Yay! And then I'll have the cheering going, but yeah, there you go. Only so many sounds at once.
Yeah, whatever.
There you go. Who knows? Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it. Where's
here? You know what's funny about that? Now that you bring up Spencer Rattler, so there was a report that came out where the head coach for Oklahoma has banned the media now, going forward, has banned them. They're not allowed to come and ask questions or anything because a student from the Oklahoma University newspaper, I forgot what the newspaper was called, was with binoculars, was on a public ceiling of a building watching practice of Oklahoma and seeing that the backup quarterback was getting first-team reps and then he wrote up an article basically saying Spencer Rattler in a quarterback competition type of thing. You know what I mean? So because that got exposed, now the head coach lost his marbles. He's like, that's it. No media allowed to talk to us. You know what I mean? And maybe, Spencer Rattler's been the projected like big time quarterback coming out this coming draft and everything. Now what happens if they change roles here, and they do go with the backup now going forward? Is Spencer Rattler going to slide now? Because obviously that's going to happen when you got less tape on him. maybe you don't take them that
Who
early.
knows? Yeah, maybe they follow the trail. All right, now moving on to Monday
That's it.
Night
Mike
Football.
just said Oklahoma Daily. Got it
There you go.
for the paper.
All right, there you go.
Real quick, I just wanted to recap Mike's picks. He picked the Raiders, Cowboys, and Steelers.
Raiders, Cowboys, Steelers. All right, cool. He's on point with us there. All right, and now finally Monday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills travel to Tennessee to play on the Titans. Titans are we've seen now what they definitely have to do. I mean, everybody knows Derrick Henry. You've got to get him the ball. He's got to be your main guy here, especially when you didn't have all of your wide receivers. And
You had
they
A.J.
started to
Brown
get
last
A.J.
week.
Brown back. But to get all
And
of your
Julio
guys
Jones
back,
will probably be back this week.
Yeah, so that's what you need. Your whole complement of players to compete with this here. But again, that defense is still suspect in the way the Buffalo Bills have been playing on all phases.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad because this defense coming at them from all different angles or whatever different players here. It's going to be a rough time here for the Tennessee Titans. I think they're still going to be able to get their running game going early, but then once they get down a few touchdowns, then they got to force the ball here with passing, and then we'll see what Ryan Tannehill really has to do here to get back into this game. But I like the Buffalo Bills.
The game plan for Tennessee is always running the ball
And control the clock.
chewing up the clock. You know what I mean? Trying to keep the tempo slow. And so,
Yeah.
like, some of these high-caliber offenses can't, like, just take over a game.
Right.
This is the key in the beginning of the game. If they can't run the ball, chalk it up as a loss because that's not their game plan, is not to play catch-up. Ryan Tannehill could potentially, it might be a quarterback duel and who can get the better of each other. Especially if Julio Jones comes back, that gives them another big-time weapon that they can rely on. But Buffalo, man, their defense is so good right now, and their offense is even
they
better
can beat
than
you either way. Again,
last season.
Because even if it's not their running backs, it's Allen taking off
And
and
that's-
hurdling people. And
that's
running,
always
too.
been the deal, and that's not a surprise. That's always been the thing with Josh Allen is he can beat you with his legs as well. But you know what? The biggest thing for this Bills offense is that you're seeing Josh Allen 3 years ago to now. How much has he progressed as a quarterback? It's been amazing. So I mean, I just continue to see that trend going up. Bills all day long in this one. I will be shocked. I will be. If Tennessee can put up any kind of a fight against this team.
All right, Paul. Also, he had the Steelers and he has the Bills on this one as well. You got the Bills, right, Joe? Is that what you just said? All
Yes.
right. All right, there we
Yes,
go.
that
So
is
that's
true.
it. That is our picks for Week 6. We got a lot of different ones. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully, I can get
Little
some-
disclaimer.
some back here. We'll see.
For Paul out there, he said, Patriots in an upset. I will take the Patriots only if they have their starting linemen.
All right. Well, there you go. There, I'll disclaim that one. I'll do a question mark there. So I marked that. So when I go to check it for next week, but so that's it for our show this week. We hope you guys really enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun.
Yes,
We started
yes.
off a little late, but we had to move all of our equipment back in here after our last live,
Our live
show,
show.
But we had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Hopefully we'll get a couple more.
Food
get
was
it going
amazing.
This oh yeah, absolutely. Even though I wasn't able to eat it until later on.
Thanks, everybody at Nonola.
Uh.
The staff was truly amazing. They were just awesome. They were very,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
they were great hosts.
They had her show up on the TVs
They-
in there
yes.
too. It was
You saw
awesome.
that too?
Yeah,
Like that was
that
amazing. They had one of their TVs and one of our Nordals that happened to be there simulcast our show on the television. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was cool. We had a good
Good,
time.
good
We
stuff.
definitely appreciate you guys joining out there. If you haven't yet, and you're new to the show, go check us out on Facebook, Football on the No Show. Join our group on YouTube. Go to Football on the No Show as well. Hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so
to
make
let
sure
you
whenever we
know
go
when
live.
we go live. There we go.
That's right.
And
so-
then go ahead. Say the next one. Podcast.
Oh yeah, the podcast. That's right.
Don't
We're
forget
on
about
all
them.
the podcasts. That's right. If you can't stand the looks of our faces, you want to just listen to us whenever you can too on Spotify. And also on Google Podcasts, all of them, almost every single one. Breaker, you can check us out then too,
Yeah,
just
we're
to
on a
listen
lot
to
of
your
platforms.
earbuds on some of that stuff. Best way, I think, is video, but audio, where we started out our grassroots podcast. Check them out, all that stuff. So like the podcast too as well. Subscribe to us there too.
If you
It's
don't like-
absolutely free. So
If you don't like to watch us, That's the perfect place to go.
That's the raw, uncut stuff
Podcasts.
like what we used to do.
If you don't like to be interactive either, you go to podcasting.
Yeah, that's right. So you don't get the poster comments. But all right, but that's it. That's it for us this week.
Thanks, everybody.
Hope you guys enjoy the games this weekend, and we'll see you guys next time.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday nights for more Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.